I've been demonstrating some essential bass lines over the course of the existence of this channel, but here is one essential solo that most bass players already know, and if you don't, let's check it out in greater detail now. Welcome to Learn Jazz Bass with Matt Rybicki. If you're new here, my name is Matt. I've been playing bass professionally for over 35 years with folks like Wynton Marsalis, Joel Fromm, and Wycliffe Gordon. I'm on the faculty of the Juilliard School Extension Division and University of North Carolina School of the Arts. I'm glad that you're here. We're talking about this amazing solo that, as I said, most bass players already know, but if you don't, you really should learn it. It contains a lot of really wonderful things that we'll go into in a little detail here. Before we go into detail about the solo itself, though, I just wanted to give some context for this recording. This is Sonny Rollins and Wilbur Ware, of course, and Elvin Jones on drums. There's no piano or guitar, no chordal instrument at all. That gives freedom for Sonny Rollins in particular to play around with harmonic ideas, and Wilbur Ware does that a little bit in this solo too. I want to make sure that you have the correct track, the correct take, because there's two versions on, there's a couple, it's been released in several ways, like as two albums or one big one. Anyways, there's two tracks of Softly as in a Morning Sunrise. This is the afternoon take, and then there's an evening take, which also is great, but this is the solo everybody tends to pretty much focus on, rightfully so, I think. The other thing is I don't remember which source I've got this from, but it's a very legitimate source, a hardcore player, that this Wilbur Ware is borrowing a bass on this recording. This is not his bass that he's playing with. And I think it's pretty cool that he came up with one of the most recognizable bass solos of all time on a bass that wasn't his. Really goes to show, like, the music is inside us, right? It's not our tool. So, I mean, it's not the tool that is the important thing. It's the music that's inside us. So those are a couple things of context, and many folks consider this like a highlight in the recording life of Wilbur Ware. And his beat is unbelievable. His sound is fantastic, even on this bass that isn't his. You can tell from the sound quality that the strings were really high, which may sort of, and I think he played generally, from my estimation, with pretty high action, so to speak. The strings are far away from the fingerboard, but that allows for a very robust sound, which definitely comes out here. So let's talk a little bit more in depth about the solo itself, and I'll point out some things that I think are interesting and worth noting. The first, though, is something that doesn't have to do with the notes themselves at all, but it's rather how Wilbur Ware is delivering this information. I think it really, really represents what's great about him and about great bass players in general, this sense of confidence and command. He is absolutely manifesting the idea that he's in control the entire time, and that's something we want to emulate. So, you know, sort of have that in the back of your mind as you listen to this from him, and we're trying to imitate that. We're trying to imitate that sense of power. I don't mean playing aggressively, I don't mean playing loudly, I just mean being very, very confident and very rock solid in our ideas. People are relying on us for that, and also it's more pleasant to listen to. So to go into some specifics about the notes in the melody itself and concepts in the melody, the first, in the solo, the first thing has to do with the melody, which is that he is using the idea that we're taught so often of taking the melody from the song we're playing and using that as a springboard or as a starting point for our solo. And he absolutely does that, like one-to-one, essentially. The melody to Softly as in a Morning Sunrise is, of course, basically, right? And he essentially takes that directly and just plays with the rhythms. Right? So just starting from there can give us a really confident sense about getting started in a solo, and hopefully will provide some data for us to play with and manipulate, which he does very well here. There's a couple of places where he's sort of implying little harmonic things. Remember, there's not a piano or guitar, and so he's implying some little harmonic ideas that I think are interesting and give the line some flavor. The first is certainly the use of the leading tone from B natural to C. It's typically, the song is in C minor. This one is in this particular recording, and so it is a minor chord, but he is playing B natural often to approach the C, and that implies, the sound of it makes the implication that it's harmonic or melodic minor, as opposed to just like natural minor. So that gives some bulk to the sound. For example, in measure 9, 1, and then again, and then again. So he's playing that B natural, makes a difference and gives a little bit of depth, as I said. There's another place too where he is sort of, to me, really clearly implying changing the quality of the chord from minor to major. If you look in measure 15, the chord is supposed to be C minor, and he really makes it sound like C major. If we start from 13, measure 13, so that part, B natural, E, B natural to E right there, that's like immediately makes it sound like C major, and then he puts the nail in the coffin, so to speak, by playing B to C again. So that's a neat thing that he's implying. And then he's also sort of implying this descending 2/5 idea in measure 23, this fast eighth note thing, but it does sound like 2/5s. Starting from 21, it sounds like he's going or hearing in his head E minor to A7, D minor to G7, B minor to E7, A. It's not a directly descending thing, but just sounds like that pattern. The fact he ends on A natural on a D minor 7 flat 5 is made possible, or it sounds right because of that phrase itself. He's not thinking about like, oh, I have to play the right notes on this chord. It's really, what is the melody that I'm playing, or what is the vibe or the concept that I'm executing? So that all sounds like it is, purposeful and meaningful, and implies some chords to the line itself. There is some interesting use of, like, in the second half, I find it, I sort of was thinking about it and listening to it, and there's a lot of concept, really in the whole solo, but especially in the second half, of thinking about the broader, bigger sections as being like, everything is sort of descending and then resetting, descending and then going back up and descending. What I mean is, if we go in 37, all descending, right? And then he gets back up, but then in 45, same idea. That's down, and then he gets his way back up. And then again, the last 8 measures of the form itself from 57. That's down, back up. Down, down, down. So it's not, direct variety and direction is a normal thing. It's nothing crazy there. It's just like, I kind of feel like he was I don't know, something sort of subconsciously was directing him to sort of have this same sort of shapes, so to speak. Maybe, I'm not really sure. It's just something that I noticed. And then he's also showing us a lot of really great examples of sort of what we call enclosures, which is approaching a target note from different directions, essentially. And one nice example, there's a few examples. One would be in 9 to 10. He is going from the C minor to D7, so he's playing D on the root of measure 10. If I play measure 9, 1, I don't know that he was necessarily thinking enclosure, but C, A, D is sort of an enclosure. I mean, typically we think of them closer, but that A wants to pull to the D, and the C is close to the, to me, I kind of feel like that's in the enclosure sort of space. It's a little bit more direct when he does the next measure, where he's going D, B, C. Again, an enclosure a step above C, D to C, and then a half step below C, B to C. And that similar thing happens in 20. G, E, C. That same sort of idea. It's not an exact enclosure. E, C, F. Not formally what we call enclosure, but has that same idea. And then in 36, 1. D, A flat, D, G. Same idea, like not formally an enclosure, but has this, he's encircling the G that he's getting to on beat 3 there, as well as a longer one in 40, where I'll play from 37. And now here. So he's doing 3 different approaches to C. D flat, B, D's, out of tune there. That's a triple, a hat trick of enclosures there. And gosh, it's everywhere else, the same idea. If you go to 46, like that's all just these lines that are getting to some main target note. And then finally, in the very last phrase of this, the solo itself, there's this idea of some kind of enclosing or some kind of target note. And I'm not sure, on beat 2, I'm not 100% sure if this is an A flat or an A. I had trouble hearing this particular one. I'm pretty sure it's A flat though. And in that case, I'm not sure how he would have fingered it. I mean, he's coming from an open D, so he does have time to play it here in the middle of the neck, A flat, F sharp, G, there, or that. At a fast tempo, this kind of leap like that, A flat to F sharp, it's definitely possible. I do it all the time. It's not the smartest thing maybe, but so I'm not sure exactly how he does it, but he is there definitely enclosing G by a half step above, A flat to G, and then a half step below, F sharp to G. And those very last eighth notes were tricky for me to get out today. The harmonics, D, G, gets down to C, the root, as he starts walking again. And the last thing I just want to point out was this fast sort of movement in the second bridge, bar 49, where I'm playing it as so I'm going B flat to F, and then raking and sweeping my hand down quickly, B flat, and then sort of a percussive note to B, to the lower B flat. It's hard to do slowly. Now, what's interesting is that listening as closely as I did to this recording to make sure I had it right, I mean, I'm revisiting this after many years of having transcribed it because I want to provide to you the most accurate thing. I believe he's playing B flat to F. My particular fingers don't work that well for that particular movement. Descending fourths are real hard for my hand. I mean, like it's not painful. It's just like I'm double jointed and my hand is shaped in a way that doesn't. But I think that's what he's playing there. I can't quite get it out, so I'm more playing that F as a percussive sound on the D string there. So hopefully all this, the little bits of the solo will be helpful as you sort of study it, if you don't already know it. Please, 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 please learn this by ear. This is absolutely 100% able to be taken in and remembered by ear. It's not long, it's not terribly difficult, all the notes make sense, it's really easy to hear the bass. So please do this by ear if you don't know it already, and just use my PDF here as sort of maybe checking your work afterwards. So look for that link below, as I mentioned before, and hopefully this was helpful for you today. Thanks for joining me as always. Remember, straight ahead and strive for tone.